devices super easily. I can paint something on my iPad, move it to my Mac to paint in Photoshop, edit it back on my iPad super quickly, send it to my phone so I can post it really easily, all with just Bluetooth, and it's just super, super nice and easy. Huge files too. Like, I'm talking big Photoshop documents. They just work so well. And the best thing about this is that later on, once macOS Monterey has the universal control feature, you can use it literally as a separate monitor and almost a separate computer where you can just drag and drop files. I actually saw in some Apple advertising, somebody dragged a layer from Procreate into Photoshop. Like, that is going to be huge once we can do that. I hope that feature stays, but I'll show you the footage. It looks amazing, and I can't wait for that to be available here on my MacBook Pro. So before I get into the downsides, I want to be honest again, the price. This is a big thing that you do need to consider when you're looking into buying any device like this. And this PC, this custom built PC right here, retailed for about $3,720. I calculated all of the components out to the price that they were at the time of purchasing. And this particular model of my MacBook Pro cost me about $4,900. So you might be like, what the hell? Obviously, that's not really a fair comparison, Josh. There's $1,000 difference between those devices. But one thing you do have to remember is that with the MacBook here, I actually made a list. You get a good microphone, you get a good webcam, you get a great trackpad, you get a good keyboard, great speakers, and a 4K mini LED screen with true HDR. And this doesn't have any of that. When you buy this, you can't just use it. It's just, yeah, you got a PC, now you got to buy all the other peripherals. But when you get a MacBook, or a laptop of any type, really, it just works. You got everything there. So I think that kind of evens out that price a little bit. And again, like I said, this is a $4,900 model. These start at $2,000, which is going to be really useful for a lot of people who don't necessarily do the content that I do, because even though I do a lot of 2D art, I do a lot of 3D stuff as well, especially coming back from my architecture days, and I'm also interested in video editing. That's what I do, it's my job. So I do need a lot of the features that I purchased with this MacBook. And to go even further, the MacBook Air, like, it's also really, really good for what it is. Like, I could edit. I actually spent the past few weeks, I edited the last several videos I made for this channel before I got my MacBook Pro on the MacBook Air because it was better and had less problems than both my desktop and laptop PCs. So yeah, this is expensive, but for a lot of people out there, you can get the lower end versions and it's still going to give you almost all, if not, or most, if not all of the advantages you get over something like this. So let's get into the downsides. The first major one is that you have to consider, I've been using Windows for 15 years now. I got my first PC when I was 10, and I've been using Mac OS for 1 year. So it has been pretty frustrating. There's a lot of little quirks I've had to learn and undo, and settings I have to go into and do some research and see what other people have done to kind of get things to be how I wanted them to be. So if you're coming from a similar place, be prepared for that. It will take you some time to really feel like it's completely the same and even better in experience, but it's not going to take you too long, trust me. The other downside is that a lot of third-party hardware is unfortunately not supported. And yeah, like even my Razer Tartarus right here. Can I pull it? Can you guys see it? Yeah. I use this thing. It's so great for painting. I also use my Azeron sometimes. Well, now I don't need to as much because I kind of found a way to make this work, but I recommend